Hello everyone, welcome to the 160 drill class. We're going to start off with a paragraph that focuses on basic phrases, okay? So you're going to hear from the, it was, at the, of the, that is, to be. And here's your paragraph, ready? I hit the ground, then I went to stand up, but it felt as if somebody had stuck a knife in my back. I wanted to get away from the truck because it looked as if it was going to teeter and perhaps roll over again. It was sitting on its side and it was kind of moving. It looked as if it was going to come over on me. So I walked away a little bit. Then I just sat down, and that is where I stayed. I just sat there looking up at the bed of the truck and waited to be taken away. It wasn't too long until somebody got there. All right, now moving right into a number drill. These are sizes and numbers. Ready? Size 66 by 104, number L27, $5.30. Size 81 by 104, number P71, $9.69. Size 24 by 36, number K76, $18.40. Size 18 by 24, number J11, $12.80. Size 66 by 115, number M38, $8.75. Size 20 by 30, number H93, $15.75. All right, moving right into a basic brief review. Okay, you're going to hear ever, every, before, Mr., Mrs., Ms., there, possessive there, another, and there, as in let's go over there. Here we go. Did you ever invite Mr. and Mrs. Burton before this occasion? I saw that their invitation was lying there on the table. Did you know they had moved? Should we send them another invitation before we hear about whether they received the first one? Ms. Thomas sends her regrets but hopes she will be able to attend at another time. It seems to happen every time there are this many people invited. They just don't get all their invitations. Does she wish to be called Ms. Rutherford or Mrs. Rutherford? She used to use Ms. Clark before she was married. There is another thing to consider before informing the press. Will Mr. and Mrs. Duncan be here beforehand? Every item will have to be checked. Their baggage should be sent by another means. All right. I have some 160 briefs from the 160 brief sheet. So today we're going over diagnose. That's D long I-G, diag. Diagnosis, there's two ways you can do this. You can either write it as D long I-G-S. You can't just use the S because it would conflict with dice. So D long I-G-S, or I like to write it as D long I-G for diagnose and then come back for S-I-S, diagnose-is. So I write D long I-G, come back for S-I-S, but that's up to you. The brief page says D long I-G-S, okay? Directing your attention, D-U-R-T. Don't use the I, that would conflict with dirt. Directing, or that's direct your attention. Directing your attention, you're throwing in the G, D-U-R-G-T. So it's just, the only thing you have to remember is it's out of keyboard order. So it's going to come, the G is before the T, D-U-R-G-T. Distribute, D-R-I-B-T. Dripped. and distribution, D-R-I-B-G-S. You're throwing in the G-S for the shun. Okay, so here's your drill. Diagnose, diagnosis, direct your attention, directing your attention, distribute, distribution, directing your attention, diagnose, direct your attention, diagnosis, distribute, distribution. Again, if you struggle with those, then go back and watch the drill on those again, okay? All right, so now I have some sentences that use numbers. All right, here we go. Ready? The latest statistics indicate that 27 million people have been victims of violent crimes. His total prize money was over $3 million. The stamps cost 60 cents and the postcards cost 75 cents. The investigators said that the robbers got away with $639.89. Did the motor oil cost you $10.10? There was a $13 entry and a $59 entry showing the online banking. The state spending package included a $12.5 million allocation for highway construction. The charges were as follows: books, $126.95, materials, $20.15, and parking fees, $5.75. My recollection is that I paid $250.89 for the pistol. Did you say 2 cents or 20 cents? We spent 45 cents, not $45. Does the receipt say $17 or $18.10? Your Honor, I think there is a 0 missing in this serial number. One of the withdrawals was for $25 and the other one was for $99. The piece of property was originally listed for $330,000 or $340,000. All right. I have some common phrases. Again, they're not always phrases that you write on your machine, but they're more of what you hear. And of course, if you can phrase it, I encourage you to do so. Ready? Where were, where will, where would, where you are, where you believe, where you believed, where you can, where you cannot, where you could, where you feel, where you felt, where you had, where you have, where you have been, where you have had, where you know, where you recall, where you recalled, where you recollect, where you recollected, where you remember, where you remembered, where you say, where you shall, where you should, where you understand, where you want, where you wanted, where you were, where you will, where you would, whether every, whether he believed, whether he believes, whether he can, whether he cannot, whether he could, whether he ever, whether he feels, whether he felt, whether he had, whether he happened, whether he is, whether he knows, whether he recalled, whether he recollected, whether he recollects, whether he remembered. All right. I have words that are plural, so you come back for the final Z, as opposed to words that end with Z or S. which are written in one stroke. Okay, here we go. Rise, rice. Saws, sauce. Prize, price. Sins, since. Falls, false. Trays, trace. Hens, hence. Phase, face. Plays, place. Spies, spice. Pulls, pulse. Grows, gross. And here are your sentences. Who won that prize? The price has risen. It will take a prize. The phase is finished. His face told the story. Phase out the old stock. Alfalfa grows wild. I ordered a gross. Corn grows in Iowa. His sins were many. He taught since May. Wash your sins away. The hens are laying now. Henceforth be on time. Purchase some new hens. The saws were dull. The taco needs sauce. He saws his own wood. Were you dozing today? Take a proper dose. The jury dozed off. Are they raising horses? Are they racing horses? You should raise them. Watch for the signs. He teaches science. They are new signs. He pulls very hard. Take her pulse again. He pulls the wagon. The old man had many falls. He admitted it was false. How many falls did I have? Order 2 full trays. There isn't a trace. The trays are full. They saw both plays. Put it in its place. She plays too hard. Our prices will rise. Try our rice cakes. The water is rising. The spies were arrested. Spice up that dull report. Put the spies on trial. And that concludes our 160 drill class. Have a great day.